that this House do not adjourn to a date to be fixed. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any against say no. I think the ayes have it. This House now stands adjourned to a date to be fixed.
As indicated by the Speaker of the House, Ms. Amy Ramkisoon, the 12th National Youth Parliament, which took place on Monday, October 27th, 2014, has been adjourned. We thank you for viewing this debate of the 12th National Youth Parliament on the Parliamentary Broadcasting Network, Cable Channel 11.
Good afternoon, everyone. We just want to ask all of the members to remain seated until the speaker returns, and we'll have the award ceremony and that kind of thing, right? Yeah? All right, thanks.
And as you would have just heard, communication by Communications Officer Mr. Atiba Wiltshire, the members of the Youth Parliament will be seated, and an award ceremony is carded to take place shortly. So we are just awaiting the re-arrival into the chamber of the National Youth Speaker. And once again, this is the Parliamentary Broadcasting Network, Cable Channel 11, 105.5 FM, and on the internet at www.ttparliament.org. This sitting started at just about 10 a.m. this morning, where debate was on the policy for corporal punishment, and the motion was denied, with the government voting against the motion.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? All right. You all remember my name by any chance? No? All right. Mr. Oh, very good. All right, my name is Atiba Wilshire. It is my privilege to be the Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's proceedings, where we are going to present some tokens of appreciation and make some very special announcements to you all. I was observing the debates and taking pictures. You all are a very photogenic bunch. Yeah? And some very interesting arguments were raised and that kind of thing. So I would like, first of all, to give you all a round of applause. And we do sincerely hope to see some of you all within the hallowed chambers of the Parliament sometime in the near future, right? Yes. Yeah? Yes. Madam Prime Minister is very quick to answer. That's good. That's good. That's good. What we're going to do now is we are going to have some remarks by the Speaker of the House. Not the youth speaker, but the Speaker of the House. And he is going to also distribute some tokens of appreciation to some of you all. So at this time, I'd like to welcome, to give some remarks to you all, the Honorable Speaker of the House, Mr. Wade Mark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tiba. I recognize the Honorable President of the Senate and other distinguished members of Parliament in our midst today. I recognize, of course, all of you esteemed, illustrious, and wonderful students who have done us proud, done your parents proud, and I'm sure your teachers and your family and the country. So I think you deserve a round of applause. This represents the 12th National Youth Parliament in our history as a parliament. And the purpose of these youth parliaments is to allow the young citizens, like your good selves, to come forward and to engage in lively exchanges of ideas and views and concerns and opinions and even expectations, as you have done today, in a very sharp way, because democracy represents the ability of us on the government and the opposition to really be able to make our points of view in a very solid way, but in a very respectful way, and for us to be able to exercise the kind of tolerance which is essential if a democracy is to strive and to develop and expand and grow. I want to say that I was extremely thrilled by the level of participation and exchanges that we had today. It is clear to me and to us who were listening that serious research went into your deliberations, and it required serious discipline. And the mark of a very good debate for me is for us to be able to exchange arguments and put forward our points of view in a very clear and realistic manner. And I thought that you all did an excellent job today. And again, I want to congratulate all of you students who have done us proud. I want to also let you know, this is a training ground for bringing forth many very powerful, bright, and intelligent students who are able to be identified and be selected to represent Trinidad and Tobago at the regional level and at the global level. I can tell you that we were in Barbados early on this year, and we had 3 representatives from the Youth Parliament of 2013 representing Trinidad and Tobago at the Caribbean Youth Parliament. That is the CPA, Regional Youth Parliament. And they did us proud. The first place for the best debater did not come our way, but we were very close to it. It went to Bermuda, but we won the 2nd prize, and we won the 3rd prize. So Trinidad and Tobago was able to capture 2 prizes in Barbados. And as we speak, 2 of our youths who represented us here, as you are representing us today, were selected. And they are heading to South Africa to attend the Commonwealth Parliamentary Youth Conference. One, Miss Michelle Rupnarine. She was Prime Minister in that parliament when we last met. That was the 11th Youth Parliament. And the other person is a young man from QRC. He's now going to the Cyprian Labour College of Labour and Corporate Studies. His name is Desmond Dennis Lord III. And both of them were selected, and they are going to South Africa, where the Commonwealth Parliamentary Youth Conference will take place between the 2nd of November to the 8th of November. So this is a training ground for young citizens, because tomorrow you are going to represent the future. You are going to replace us. I want to congratulate my counterpart, the Honorable Speaker, who kept a tight rein, even tighter than I do at times. So I really want to congratulate you. And we saw democracy at work in our parliament today. I wasn't aware that the whip was lifted, but I saw that, for instance, we had freedom of conscience, where a government member was able to express his views. And that is very progressive and democratic in any society. We haven't gotten there yet. We have to lift our whip first before that can be done. But the important thing is that we dealt with a very important topic today. And I think that you all conducted yourselves in a very disciplined fashion. You studied your standing orders well, especially the member for Point Fortin. Studied the standing orders very well. He was on his legs quite regularly, seeking support from the Honorable Speaker. And I really, on behalf of the Parliament, again, would like to warmly and sincerely congratulate you all. I think you all have represented the youths of our nation very well. I think that what has come across the airwaves, what has been televised, what has been shown live to the citizens, and what has been streamed on the World Wide Web, to my mind, will remain forever stenciled on the mental sheet of many citizens here in Trinidad and Tobago, in the region and in the world. Once again, I want to warmly congratulate you. I want to let you know today as well, in closing, we had 55 participants taking part in this very important debate on government's policy on corporal punishment, delinquency and indiscipline. 22 males and 33 females, making up that number that I mentioned of 55. And 28 institutions taking part, including the St. Michael's Home for Boys. And we are very happy, and this is where we are going in the future, where we want to extend our arms not only to the secondary school level and the university and the technical colleges, but we want to go to Serval and all those institutions like the St. Michael Home for Boys. So once again, warmest congratulations. You have done your schools well. You have done your family well. You have done your teachers proud. And I want to wish you every success in your future endeavor. I want to let you know that politics is a noble profession. I want to leave that with you. And whatever you do, you exercise wisdom with passion. You have compassion, you exercise wisdom. They go hand in hand, wisdom and compassion. And I look forward to seeing many of you here in the future as members of parliament for the various constituencies in our country, because the country has to continue, and you are the ones who are going to ensure continuity, because you are the future. I thank you, and may God richly bless every single one of you and your respective families.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. At this time, we're going to have the distribution of the tokens of appreciation, and you all will be getting a token of appreciation, a personal token. There'll be one token for your school, and you will also be receiving a certificate. But some of the tokens you're going to have to collect afterwards, right? Okay, so since I'm not as photogenic as you all, I'll get out of the camera shot. And I will come up to where the Deputy Speaker normally sits. And we begin. The first person that I will call upon to come up to receive a token from Mr. Speaker is Miss Amy Ramkisoon of the Waterloo Secondary. She was the Speaker of the House.
Amy, congratulations. Yes, yes. And this is a certificate.
Thank you. Right there.
Yes. Thank you very much. Give me a round of applause.
Next, can we have Miss Olubusola Chung of the St. Francois Girls College. She was the Leader of the House and Minister of Justice and member for Manzanilla.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Next up, Miss Precious Blackwell, Princestown Secondary. She was the Honorable Prime Minister, member for Tobago.
Precious, congratulations. And this is your certificate. All right, thank you. Precious.
Mr. Jamel Hunt of St. Mary's College. He was the Attorney General and the Member of Parliament for Point Fortin.
Oh, Congratulations. Congratulations.
Jaya Jagannath, Faizabad Anglican School. She was the Minister of National Security and a Member of Parliament for Tobago East.
Congratulations. The only thing I can tell you, I think it passes.
Next up, Mr. Nikhil Hasrana of Presentation College, Chagonas. He was the Minister of Finance and the Economy and a Member of Parliament for Tableland.
Congratulations.
Next, Ms. Katrina Shah of Asja Girls College in San Fernando. She was the Minister of Works and Infrastructure and a Member of Parliament for Laventille East.
Congratulations.
Next, Ms. Suzette Deo Singh of Parvati Girls Hindu College. She was the Minister of Tourism and a Member for Dabidi Omera. Mr. Peter Barrett. He was the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Presentation College San Fernando and a Member for Talparo.
Thank you. Want to rest rights. Congratulations. Thank you.
Following Peter, we have Mr. Shanjeev Shah of Shiva Boys Hindu College. He was the Minister of Legal Affairs and a Member for Urupuch East.
Thank you.
Already on her feet is Ms. Karina Mohammed of the University of the Southern Caribbean. She was the Minister of Health and Member for Arima.
Congratulations.
Next up, Ms. Abigail Caldero of Shiva Boys Hindu College, Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs and Member for Laventille West.
Congratulations.
At this time, Mr. Speaker, we thank you very, very much. I would like to call upon the President of the Senate, Senator the Honorable Timothy Hamel-Smith, to hand out the next set of tokens. The next set of tokens is going to be going to Miss Rhian Paris of Holy Faith Convent in Couva. She was the Minister of Local Government and Member for Aruka. After Rhian, Josiah Fernandez of Presentation College, Chagonas. He was the Deputy Speaker and Member for St. Joseph. After Josiah, After Josiah, we have Ms. Ishtar Redman of Hillview College. She was the Minister of Tobago Development and member for Port of Spain North. Next, Mr. Timothy Williams, Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development and member for Kumuto. After Timothy, we have Ms. Brittany Mahabir of the Open Bible High School. She was the Minister of National Diversity and Social Integration and a member for St. Augustine. Next up, Ms. Vandana Ramada of Naparima Girls High School. She was the Minister of Transport and member for Barataria San Juan. Mr. Michael Johnson, Minister of Trade, Investment and Communications, member for Tunapuna. Mr. Aaron Sergiu of Presentation College San Fernando, Minister of Sport and a member for Couva North. Next, Ms. Janice Smith of the Trinidad and Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. She was the Minister of Public Utilities and a member for Port of Spain South. Ms. Yelena Luchman of Ashja Girls College, Minister of Public Administration and member for Moruga. Next up, Ms. Antoria Lynch of San Juan North Secondary. She was the Minister of Land and Marine Resources and a member for San Fernando West. Mr. Andel Andrew of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine Campus, Minister of Education and member for Labrie. Next, Ms. Sydney Riley of Princesstown West Secondary. She was the Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training and a member for Caroni East.
Thank you.
And Mr. President, we thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Central, Dr. Amy Brown, to present the next round of tokens. Oh, that was wonderful. Okay. Next up, can we have Mr. Christopher Bolans McSween of Trinity College, Maraval. He was the Minister of Housing and Urban Development and Member of Parliament for Diego Martin North. Nevelon Ford of the University of the Southern Caribbean, the Minister of Environment and Water Resources and a Member of Parliament for San Fernando West. Next up, can we have Kendall Lewis, the Minister of the Arts and Multiculturalism and a Member of Parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre. Mr. Corey Ford of the University of the West Indies, Minister of Community Development, member for Dago Martin Central.
You can say that again. Dago Martin Central. Well done, my brother. And you delivered as promised.
Ms. Khalifa Daniel of Signal Hill Secondary, government backbencher, member of parliament for La Hoqueta.
Welcome. Hope you enjoyed the experience.
You all are primed and ready to walk up, boy. That's good. Ms. Angelia Ramdeen of Holy Faith Convent in Couva, government backbencher, member of parliament for Chaguanas East.
Well done. You enjoyed the experience. I'm proud of you.
Mr. Brandon Kanhai of Waterloo Secondary, opposition chief whip and member of parliament for Couva.
You enjoyed your duties? Yep. Well done. I'm proud of you.
Alyssa Garcia of Cohen Hamilton, leader of the opposition and member for Tabaquite.
It's a distinct pleasure. You took to your duties with pride.
Ms. Jewel Furman of Faizabad Anglican Secondary, opposition member and member of parliament for Mova.
Well done. You enjoyed your time with us?
Thank you very much, Dr. Brown. Next, I would like to call on the member of parliament for Aruka Maloney, Ms. Alicia Hospitalis. And Ms. Hospitalis will see why I called on her. Can we have Orla Carr of the University of the West Indies, School of Business and Applied Studies Limited, opposition member and member for Maloney. Next, Samantha Tamwing of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, opposition member and member of parliament for Dago Martin West. Jaron O'Brien of Hillview College, opposition member and member of parliament for Urupuch West.
At least she can do that.
Next, Mr. Vital Sipasad of the Open Bible High School, opposition member and member of parliament for Caroni Central. Next, Ms. Vasha Maharaj of Naparima Girls High School, opposition member and member of parliament for Chaguanas West. Well, since Gabrielle is already on her feet, Ms. Gabrielle Nichols of Signal Hill Secondary, opposition member and member of parliament for Naparima. Thank you very much, Ms. Hospitalis. Next, I would like to call upon the member of parliament for Point Fortin, Ms. Paula Gopi School. And Ms. Gopi Schoon will first present to Stacia King Messiah of St. Augustine Secondary, opposition member and member of parliament for Diego Martin East. Next, Mr. Xavier Richardson of St. Mary's College, opposition member and member of parliament for Faizabad. Ms. Cheyenne Cabrera of St. Francois Girls College, opposition member and member of parliament for Sangre Grande. Von Michael Quinn Williams, opposition member and member of parliament for St. Anne's. Joshua Phillip of Trinity College, Marval, opposition member and member for Princestown. Kendall Jagannath of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, opposition member and member for Mayaro. Thank you very much, Ms. Gopi School. Next, I would like to call upon Independent Senator Mr. Anthony Vieira. Not to make any announcements. To breathe. Yes. Yes. And Mr. Vieira will first present to Ms. Shaniqua Parkinson of the St. Augustine Secondary, opposition member and member of parliament for Lopino Bonnier West. Laurelie Ali of Cohen Hamilton. Laurelie is absent. That's quite unfortunate. All right. We move on to Janelle Simon of the University of the West Indies, School of Business and Applied Sciences, opposition member and member for Tobago West. Nakaida Brereton of Siparia West Secondary, Clerk of the House. Ms. Clea Knott of St. George's College, Assistant Clerk. Thank you very much, Mr. Vieira. And now I'd like to call upon Opposition Senator Faris Al-Rawi. Can we have Mr. Christopher Andrew Young of the Trinidad and Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, Marshal of the Parliament.
Very well done. It's a very serious job.
Ricardo Suraj of Siparia West Secondary, Deputy Marshal.
Congratulations. And you can come and free money at the back. Here you go.
Anusha Mahabir of Parvati Girls Hindu College, parliamentary attendant.
You realize you're alone.
And finally, Mr. Tristan Alum of San Juan North Secondary, parliamentary attendant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alum. Now I could come back to the center. Now, we are going to make a very special announcement. You all know what that announcement is? No? Yes, we had 3 distinguished individuals to the back, paying very close attention to you all, observing very closely what you all were doing. You all didn't notice them? You did? Well, at least some of you all were being very observant. At this time, I would like to move to the portion of the proceedings where we make the announcement of the most outstanding debater. And that announcement is going to be made by the Speaker of the House. Oh, I was just advised that contrary to what we have here, it is going to be made by Independent Senator Mr. Anthony Vieira.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I was also asked to say a few words about debating. All protocols observed, and I have the results here. I'm going to put it down and we'll get back to that in a little while. I want to join with the Honorable Speaker in congratulating all of you for a job well done. A round of applause for all of you. Now, in terms of scoring, I have to say that we found it very, very close indeed. And I want to recognize all the hard work, energy, sacrifice that you have clearly put in getting you here today. And you have done your schools, you have done your families, and you have done yourselves proud. Well done indeed. I want to extend sincere thanks and heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you for your impressive contributions today. Now, how is one to judge when all are so good and the race is so close? We were given a set of criteria to use for judging, so I could share it with you. Presentation, physical appearance, accuracy, whether the information presented was supported by documentation, relevance of the information to the topic, is the contribution in line with the debate, delivery, how did you engage, your ability to capture and hold the interest of the audience, diction, your ability to deliver clearly, pronunciation of words. I have to tell you that when we did our scoring, the ranges were very, very close indeed. It was very tight. One of the persons we didn't really get to judge, but I do want to say that I was very impressed with, is I would like to compliment the speaker on her rulings and the way she kept order. Well, as typified in today's debate, the use of corporal punishment remains highly controversial, and arguments can be put forward for and against it. So, as we have seen, the topic was well chosen because it makes for good argument and debate. And argument and debate goes to the heart of who we are and the notion of democratic government. Democracy requires the circulation of ideas and opinions. It requires us to take an interest in issues that affect the lives of citizens. And it requires judgment about what ought to be done in circumstances where there are several options and there is disagreement about which option is best. The importance of Parliament and parliamentary debate, therefore, is that they offer a forum for public deliberation and reasoning. Parliamentary debate, therefore, is a form of intellectual engagement, a type of exchange based on a sharing of knowledge and a pooling of facts and opinions. I know sometimes there is a tendency to politicize issues, to seek to dominate and to destroy the other side's arguments and positions, and even sometimes to engage in personal attacks. But in my respectful view, parliamentary debate and criticism should not be about destruction, but to persuade and to convince. It should not be about demolishing, but should be about building. It should not be about just listing facts and pelting statistics, but should lead towards insight and illumination. The idea is to persuade, challenge, and effect change, to influence the outcome if you can, by arguing in an informed, respectful, and constructive way. Good arguments arise from an engagement with facts and issues. But facts don't speak for themselves. They need to be presented in a framework within which they can be analyzed, explained, and put into context. Democracy is a demanding business, and parliamentarians have the privilege to confront the executive and to express the anxieties of citizens. But I wonder whether this is done better via reasoned argument instead of a dog-eat-dog confrontational approach. In any event, it seems to me that as human beings, we owe each other basic respect and should always act with civility towards each other. Indeed, the very concept of freedom of speech is grounded in notions of dignity, self-respect, and equality. So I would suggest that debate is not about personal domination and winning at all costs, but it's about sustaining convincing arguments in a focused and precise way. Having said that, I would also observe that in our culture, good picong can be very effective and enjoyable. But that calls for a certain level of wit, timing, and the right circumstances. In our culture, there will always be room for good picong and humor in parliamentary debate. But I'm less sure about those who would like to play midnight robber. I would like to close by wishing each and every one of you happiness and success in your respective futures. Futures which, singly and collectively, I trust, will redound to the benefit and enrich our beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And now the moment for which we all have been waiting for. The winner of this year's 12th National Youth Parliamentary Debate is Mr. Xavier Richardson, member from Tobago. Mr. Richardson, congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Vieira, and congratulations once again to Xavier Richardson. At this time, we have come to the vote of thanks. And the vote of thanks is going to be given by the Honorable President of the Senate, Senator the Honorable Timothy Hamill-Smith.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Well, today, I think that we've all been blessed. We're blessed by so many young people here today who've had outstanding performances, of course, who have added to the rich tapestry, if you like, of debate in Trinidad and Tobago. And therefore, because we have been blessed, we also have to give thanks. And so, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for participating. Without you, of course, it would not have been possible that this youth parliament would even exist. So I think you deserve a round of applause and you should recognize yourselves. And of course, we also want to thank your schools. Your schools have been, and of course your institutions, have been very worked together with us at the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, the Trinidad and Tobago branch. You've worked with us to make this happen. And therefore, of course, and if they've groomed all of you for many years now, they've brought you to this position where you could participate at a level which I think we should all be proud of. So we want to thank your schools, and we want to thank your teachers. We know that your teachers have played a large part in assisting you coming to the point where you felt confident enough to come here and deliberate on a matter relating to something, of course, that perhaps you young people could speak better to than adults could ever do, because we're talking about corporal punishment in school. You know, you will be aware of that in a much more intimate way. At least certainly perhaps not as intimate in my day. We really had corporal punishment. But you could talk about it as young people, and of course it is the views and expressions of young people that we need to know. We need to integrate into the opinions, into the policies, so that tomorrow's children would be even better directed. And so we thank you for participating. We thank your teachers for bringing you to that point. And of course, we thank the staff of the Parliament. No doubt many of you have interacted with our many members of staff here. I'm sure that, like us who work in the Parliament, you found them to be really professional people, and I think you deserve to give them a round of applause. And then you had resource persons. You had resource persons in the form of Miss Catherine Gordon. You remember, I'm sure that she set you right in terms of etiquette, in terms of, you know, bearing and holding yourselves high, as it were. And then you had Miss Diana Mahabia Wyatt, of course, a previous independent senator who would have known all about the intricacies of debate, and I'm sure that she served you well in the ways in which she groomed you for this period here today. And then you had Miss Sonia Moores. We also would like to publicly thank her for the way she assisted you in your contributions here today. And so perhaps we could give the three resource persons a round of applause. of course, we had our judges. And without our judges, we thank Independent Senator Anthony Vera, the leader of his team of judges who came here, because at the end of the day, everybody has won, but somebody has been more outstanding than others. And therefore, it provides for us something to emulate in our lives so that we might be even better than we are today, and perhaps improve more and more towards performing in a way that would produce the best that we are. All of us have an inbuilt, planted within us wisdom, but sometimes we fall short of it. And I know when we have outstanding people among us, they help us to set our heights higher so that we can fulfill our true potential that lies within us. So we thank each of you, and we thank, of course, our outstanding performer for all that he's done. And so that I'm sure that Trinidad and Tobago as a whole would like to thank you, because we would like to thank you because we know that you young people represent the cream of the crop among our young upcoming students, students who will lead our country to higher levels, not merely standing in the shoes of those who've gone in the past, but making 1,000 steps forward. That's what we expect of you. And so we wish at the end of this day to thank all of you, to continue to strive to do your best in whatever paths you might take as you sally forth from this youth parliament. Know that whatever you do contributes to the building of Trinidad and Tobago. And this youth parliament has been one of the foundation stones in order to build that up. Because unless the foundation is well laid, the edifice cannot stand. And so we thank you for your contribution, and we wish you well, and may God bless each one of you as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you to all of the members who have come out today to take part in one way or the other, either to distribute prizes or just to observe you guys. I think today was a very productive day, and we saw some very talented, bright young people who could one day give some of the current members a run for their money. Yeah? Good. So once again, I congratulate you all. We have come to the end of today's proceedings, but before we exit, I need to make two very important announcements. First, we need to get one representative from each school or institution to come to the back to present the token for your school. One representative from each school or institution. Secondly, your transport is to the front of the building along Ryson Road, waiting for you all when you exit, to take you all down to the function with the President of the Republic. Why are you all looking at me lost? What? Yeah? Thank you all very much for participating. You all have been a wonderful group.